I'm back with Jonathan Isaac, forward for the Orlando Magic. And I'm sort of chuckling because when I was talking about the website, it is actually weareunitus.com. So we, W-E-A-R-E, are Unitus, U-N-I-T-U-S.com. Jonathan, let's talk about that because, a lot of guys are like, okay, I've got a relationship with Christ, but guess what? I'm in the NBA. The NBA seems to be taking, at least occasionally, a political stance. Maybe some of my fellow players, let's take a knee. Black Lives Matter, this and that. And you have a set of values that is a little out of sync with all of that. And yet a lot of people would just sort of keep quiet about it. You've decided, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to write a book. Here I stand. I'm going to start a company. Talk a little bit about why you decided to do that, and then tell us about the company.
Yeah, I decided to start it primarily because I wanted to see my values represented in the marketplace. Just kind of cut and dry, very simple. When you look out, especially in the sports and leisure where companies are making conscious decisions to move away from godly values and principles and constitutional values and principles. And I simply just don't agree. And I think that because we live in the great country of America, where you can do whatever you want to do, companies can move in whatever direction they want to, we don't have to co-sign them by giving them our money. And so what I wanted to do was, instead of just complaining about the direction that these companies are heading in and our society is heading it in, I wanted to, just kind of move in action and say, you know what, I have the means, I have the wherewithal to create an alternative and give freedom-loving Americans and faith-loving Americans the freedom to buy with their values. And that's where Unitus came from.
I don't know if you want to speculate about this, but why do you think, Jonathan, that these companies and even the NBA are taking these stances? I say that because if I were running a basketball franchise, I would think, listen, I'm going to have people who are going to be in the pews and the stands who have all kinds of views on all kinds of things. I don't want to get in the middle of all that. We're playing basketball over here. So I would try not to, push away a third or a half of the audience by taking it. So why do you think they're doing it?
I think primarily it's the mainstream media. I think that, what's happened, especially when you're framing this conversation around a lot of these divisive topics that people are talking about today, or they're talked about in a way that are made to be divisive and polarizing. They have one side that is acceptable in the mainstream media. If you agree with this, that, and the third, then you're good. You have these set of values, and the mainstream media pushes that, and everyone needs to jump on board and represent these values. But if you stand for something else, not even against the values that they're standing for, but if you simply hold to different beliefs, you're not just seen as someone who holds to different beliefs. You're seen as someone who is hateful. You're seen as someone who rejects and doesn't want to be tolerant of somebody else's beliefs. And I think because of that, it's easy to champion one side. It's easy to, again, for these companies to say, you know what, this is what the mainstream media is pushing, so we need to jump on this bandwagon and go in this direction, where a more nuanced and, I believe, level-headed approach would be the people who hold to these different values. They're not hateful. They're not trying to go against anybody. They just believe different things, and we can cater to both, or we can just stay out of it and allow people, whatever it is that they believe, to move in whatever direction they want to. I believe that time is gone. We used to live in a society where companies, it was just about making great product. It wasn't about what these companies believed. But as the direction that we're going in, it matters what the people, what these companies believe that you're giving your money into, because in turn, they can undermine the fabric of our society. They can, sway public opinion on certain things. So I think it is important to have alternative voices and alternative companies out there.
I mean, I've argued on the podcast, and others have as well, that as Christians and perhaps as constitutionalists or perhaps conservatives, it's not a good idea for us to subsidize values that are undercutting what we believe. And this is just as true in schools as it is in the marketplace. Do you think it is a wise idea for Christians in our society to say, hey, listen, if there's a company that's actively working against the values I believe in, I should try to put my business someplace else?
I think that's wisdom. I think that's the right thing to do. At the end of the day, you're talking about the marketplace. It matters. It matters what companies are out there in the front, in the forefront. It matters what your children see on a day-to-day basis. It matters. It all goes into how we operate as human beings. And so I think the wise thing to do is to be prudent and be thoughtful as to where I am putting my money on a day-to-day basis.
And let's close out by talking about Unitus. What you sell? Talk about some of the products. Is it mainly athletic wear? Is it clothing more generally? Is it other stuff? Is it shoes? What's the range of products at Unitus?
Yeah, thank you. It is leisure wear and sportswear. So leisure wear, I mean, it's our first capsule is a hoodie, sweatpants, t-shirts, sweatshirt, things like that. And this fall, we're going to be dropping our first sportswear package, which is like your sports bra, your leggings, and things like that. Pretty much, I want to be. And then also there's the sports side of things, like we're going to be basketball specific, football specific, things like that. I'm going to be wearing, my own sneaker that Unitus is producing this upcoming season. That'll be for sale closer to the season time. And so I just want to fill as many lanes as I can in the sportswear space and give people, again, that freedom to buy with their values. And they can leave one of these companies that are moving that direction and completely move over to Unitus and be able to get all of their sports and leisure wear needs from it.
Guys, check out the book, Why I Stand by Jonathan Isaac. The website is weareunitus.com. I think this time, Jonathan, I may have gotten it right. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. Thank you.
As central banks in countries like China, India, and Australia begin transitioning to a digital currency, the Federal Reserve here in the United States has been contemplating the same for us. Now, with a digital currency, the government could track every single purchase you make. Officials could even prohibit you from purchasing certain products or easily freeze or seize part or all your money. These are some of the reasons concerned Americans reach out to Birch Gold Group. They want to have a physical asset that's independent from the US dollar. That's gold held tax sheltered in a retirement account. Debbie and I buy gold from Birch Gold to make sure we're protected and also diversified. Now learn if gold is right for you too. Text Dinesh to 989898. They'll send you a free information kit on gold so you can make up your own mind. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, thousands of happy customers, countless 5-star reviews, Birch Gold can help you protect yourself and diversify into gold. Text Dinesh to 989898. Claim your free information kit on gold, because if a central bank digital currency becomes reality, it's going to be really nice to have some gold to depend on.